Hey, what's up, everybody? Good to be back with you. We are playing against Royal Puma now, finally, in a match that we can actually play in. Imagine that. And we'll go ahead and make these changes to the team. We've made so many adjustments and changes here to the team as we've gone through I don't know, almost 10 months or so since our last match. So you can see the names are, for the most part, very different. Maile, if you're wondering about him, is actually injured. He's down here. So he's going to be out for probably this game, next game, maybe even one more after that. But we'll see what we can do here with this from here on out. And we'll go ahead and get over to this match and let's see what's going on. We have played a large number of friendlies and we've won almost all of them. So I'm expecting good things, but we'll see what happens. Nice thing about playing friendlies like that, I'll talk with you about this a little bit more later, is that you can get the tactical familiarity up pretty high, and you can also get a lot of team cohesion up high, which is useful when you're playing in these amateur leagues that have a league schedule that lasts like 2 or 3 months. So let's see what happens, and hopefully we'll be able to break open the new season with a win and get everything going on the right page. We once again are in red and white, as we always are, whether at home or on the road. And so let's see what we can do. And now we got to get the ball off of them. It's going to take me a little while to get used to the new names because we've had so many changes. But Fetua we recognize. Tagai is a new one. He passes this forward to Petupoli. Petupoli, one of the 2 strikers that we're playing now, and he's offside, unfortunately. He was the number 2 goal scorer in the league last year, and he looks like a really good one. I think he's 18, 19, something like that. Gabriel Tauma is going to be, I'm sorry, not him. Let's see. No, it is Mark Tagai, who's the other striker. We saw him already. So he will be the other one up front. And, of course, it doesn't matter right now. We have to get the ball back. And it's Ikuvalu, one of our new goaltenders, who goes up and grabs that one. Ikuvalu is, I believe, the goaltender for the national team in American Samoa and is probably the best goaltender on the entire island. And so Atu has been kind of relegated to the under-18s. Petupoli now, and should have scored that, and instead that was up and above the goal, and that's kind of a shame. We have 2 strikers, and I think Petupoli is playing in that further ahead role. So you have one deep lying striker, and you have one who's playing a little bit farther forward. As you can see right here, it's not going to show exactly what the rules are for them. And I sort of set it up that way just because I knew we had a whole bunch of really good strikers coming on. American Samoa seems to be a place for generating a bunch of strikers of fairly good quality, but apparently no defensive midfielders. I couldn't find anybody. Here is Ledoux with it. Ledoux tries to pass to Petupoli, but it's just off target. You can see that we definitely look a lot sharper in terms of this gegenpress. Amisone over to Petupoli, and that should have been a goal. He should have taken that first time instead of trying to round the keeper, but it's all right. No problem. I mean, remember, this is the first official match of the season, so we can be a little bit generous with some of this stuff. But yeah, if he takes that first time, he had the entire right side of the net wide open, and that would have easily been a goal. And so everybody, for the most part, having a good match, except, of course, for Petupoli. He also had kind of a hard time at one of these friendlies leading up to it, I saw. So we may have to watch out for him in a little bit of problems. And there's Mark Tagai with his first goal of the season. First goal for us, a goal in his debut, I guess you could say, right after his signing for the whopping sum of 0. And that's a good way to start off this season. So right from the start, we have a goal, and we're about 25 minutes or so into this one. 1-0 for PanSa East FC, and we can continue our dominance from last time. As you saw in, I think it was yesterday's video, we unfortunately weren't able to play any of the Champions League games by hand. Otherwise, I'd know these players a little bit better. Tatia with the ball now over to Samileu. So 2 more new players here, and he knocks it all the way back to Ikuvolu. Over to PanSa, one of our new defenders. And the ball ends up being lost in midfield, and we have to watch out for this counter-attack. And, oh, man, that was pretty poor. It ends up being Mark Ashley scoring the goal as Emison's attempted a header just didn't quite work, and they have answered back right away. 30th minute is 1-1. So they look a little bit improved as well, I would say, and this might be one of the teams that we really have to worry about this season. Pretty poor job by our goaltender, who sort of stood there and watched it go by. But, I mean, I guess he was assuming that that was going to be headed back out by the defender. I don't know. Ekuvalu for them ends up grabbing this cross that was just a little bit too far forward, and we need to get this ball back. Fortunately for us, so they've been trying this thing where they just lump the ball forward. I've been trying to turn that off. We haven't seen a lot of examples of that here, at least from the goaltender. It's passed forward, though, for Ledoux, who scores a goal. Roy Ledoux scoring his first goal of the season, 2-1 PanSa East FC, and we answered back about as quickly as you can. So 3 goals here in the space of about 10 minutes, and it's worth it to lump it forward if this happens. Ledoux just gets the ball. He's up ahead of everybody, and, there's just no chance. He had such a good angle on that shot that there was no way anyone was going to stop it, and so it is now 2-1 for PanSa East FC. This is a little bit more like what I was expecting. Here is the throw, and it comes in, and it's knocked over to the middle by Royal Puma. Over to Settle, and fortunately for us, we're able to head it out, but not quite far enough. And let's see what happens this time around. We are still having a hard time heading this ball out of the danger area, and ends up being up and over the net in the end, and so we're okay. Ikuvalu knocks us over to Fetuau. Fetuau lumps it all the way over for Tiatia, and Tiatia will take this up here on the right side, takes it up himself over to Samuelu now, and over to Tagai. And unfortunately for us, he's not quite able to get control of that, but it ends up being taken back by Samuelu over to Tiatia again. Tiatia lumps this all the way over to Amisom, over to Ledoux, and that's just a little bit too far forward for him. Mark can't quite get his foot onto that. Samuelu, unfortunately, is unable to win that header, and this is really, really dangerous for us as Teoni is one-on-one with the keeper. And unfortunately, instead of taking his time, he decides to hit it as fast as he can, and that's over everyone's head. So another throw for us, Samuelu now with it over to Tiatia. Tiatia looking forward again for Mark Ledoux, and not exactly the best kind of cross. We need to work a little bit better at trying to actually work the ball in the box. In fact, I thought that's what I told him to do. I don't know. Maybe I've screwed up these tactics. Who knows? Tiatia with it over to Petupoli, over to Tagai, and he's going to score again. 2 for the game. 2 for Mark Tagai in this game. Sorry. My own grammar is starting to fall apart as I get more and more excited watching these guys play like they're champions right away. And it looks like PanSa East FC are just going to waltz our way to another victory this year in the league. So we'll see what happens. Of course, we know we don't get many reputation points for that. But who knows? Maybe we'll have to play sort of the long game. At the very least, I can keep doing those coaching courses. And it's Iopu Sipa who scores this goal here for Royal Puma, and it's 3-2. Pretty high-scoring match so far. And, that's really poorly done by Mark Ledoux, who really should have won that header in the air. And so we have about 2 more minutes before we go to the second half. And so there are things to be happy about, things to be worried about. The defense is still a problem for us. There's no question about that. But we're still dominating possession. We're doing fairly well. I'll take a quick look here and see what we can do. Is there anybody who's having a particularly poor game is the question that I'm asking. And Numotu Sasala, I haven't even said his name yet, so he's going to have to come off. You'll notice that we do have a defensive midfielder position because I wanted the Segundo Volante, but unfortunately we don't have really anybody who can play defensive midfield, so it's going to be a little bit strange. We're also seeing a poor match so far from Gogo Puasa, and so we will put the youngster Zion Mwala on for him. And let's see what we can do from here. We're going to keep Petupoli on because he's been playing fairly well. And as I said, Maile is injured. So we'll have to wait before we see if he's improved at all now that he's at the ripe old age of 16. Tamua with the ball now, and he lumps this over to nothing. That's not going to instill a lot of confidence in me as to this player's skills and abilities. So let's see what happens. We still hold on to this 3-2 lead. Of course, we would like to see more of a lead here at the beginning of the season. Petupoli with the ball now. Over to Letuavelo, and he ends up just taking a shot from range, which is not what we wanted to do. As I said before, I was trying to tell the guys not to do that, but I don't know. Maybe they may have some difficulty following directions, and Taumwa unable to get onto that ball and ends up back in the box in the danger area, and that's up high and wide, and it's going to be a goal kick for us. So we're able to hold on, and there's another throw in for them. I'm a little bit worried about the match momentum so far, and Ami Some should have been called for a foul on that one. There was no call at all. Tagai ends up intercepting over and up to Mark Ledoux. Ledoux over to Tagai again, and he gets his hat-trick. There we go. I was about to say, is this hat-trick time? It is. 4-2 PanSa East FC, and we are running away with this one. We are running away with this one just like it was last season. 4-2 so far, and we're looking very, very good here. So Ledoux with the not so great pass to Mark, and he just sort of knocks that one in. That's all you have to do. Tagai scores, and that makes it 4-2, and hopefully we can sort of hold on for a little bit longer. Teoni for them lumps this one forward, but we're able to knock it out, and it's Ledoux who just can't quite get onto that one. Over to Tagai now, and he is dispossessed of that ball rather easily. Lump forward over to that man Ashley, and he knocks this one forward, but Fetoua is able to get his foot over there. Tagai with it again over to Samulelu, and we have a counterattack. Do we know it? Samulelu is running like we do. And then he takes a shot himself, which again is, as I've said before, kind of not what I want him to do. I want him to pass that into the box. We need to work that ball into the box a little bit more instead of taking these wild shots from range that have no chance of going in at all. Letaualeveo ends up winning that one in midfield, and then he almost wins it again. Back over to Mwala. I have to figure out that guy's first name because I can't say his last name. Petupoli with it now. Looking for Ledoux. Can't quite find him. Mwala with it over to Tiatia, and he tries to work into the box, and it's just a little bit too fast. We need to slow it down just a little bit. Fetoua wins this in the air. Over to Mark Tagai to Petupoli. Mark Tagai was offside. I bet they're going to call that. Petupoli scores the goal. It would have been his first goal here for PanSa East FC in a regular season game, and they're going to give it to us. I'm pretty sure, though, that Tagai was offside right here. I'm pretty sure that he was offside. It looks offside there to the naked eye. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe I missed something or I don't know what's going on. I think that play may have been a little bit too fast for the linesman to see what was actually going on. Mark Tagai, by the way, has a perfect 10 rating after getting that assist. And Tagai will take the ball again and then lose it straight away. And let's see if we can prevent them from scoring a goal. And Ikuvalu, this is the reason why we signed him for all that money, able to make the safe hand save that I think Atu probably would have not been able to make. Now, it's not that we hate Atu, of course. I mean, he's still part of the team in his in all the glory that goes along with being on the under 19s, or under 18s, I should say. But we need to put him back in the oven a little bit to cook, I think. Teoni here for them will take this corner. It's lumped up, and Ledoux ends up getting it and lumps it forward to absolutely nobody. Now we have to go back and defend again. And it is Royal Puma with it and lumps it. They lump it on forward, but Amisone is able to go back and get it and lumps it on over there to Tagai. Tagai, unfortunately, not quite able to control it, but he does that time, then passes it forward looking for Petupoli. It's an awful pass over to the man whose name I can't say, and back to Mark Tagai, who just misses getting goal number 4. And that was just off of the left crossbar, and you would have thought that he would be able to slow that down a little bit. I mean, he literally was one-on-one with the keeper there, and he just got a little too excited thinking he was going to score 4 goals in his debut. And so we are back to defending once again. This is the team that is our team that is almost certainly too good for this league, but I don't think that we're still quite good enough to compete in the Champions League as their shot goes wide. We'll see what happens. We weren't even able to watch those games last time. I guess I could go watch the highlights if I really wanted to, but I mean, that's kind of like spoiling Christmas, you know what I'm saying? What was this? Who was this cross to? There's nobody even remotely close to there. We're seeing a lot of nerves, I think, here. Ledoux with the ball now, and he's going to slow it down a little bit. And he doesn't. He instead lumps forward a cross to nobody once again. So we've had 2 crosses in a row to absolutely nobody, and we do need to figure out how to play a little bit better as a team. Still working on that squad cohesion as Tia grabs it over to Ledoux. Ledoux with it over to the guy, back to Ledoux. Ledoux will take this forward himself, and it's still Ledoux, lumps it over to Petupoli, who scores, and that makes it 6-2, PanSa East FC. Petupoli, 2 goals here so far in this one. There's still 10 minutes left. He can get a third. He can get a third if he wants. We're going to take Samulelu off and put King Mo on, another one of these young players that have just come up. And I'm telling you, having these 2 strikers working together is the recipe for success. This is very, very well done. He's easily onside. There was no question. And there's just no way that they're going to stop that header. 6-2. He's got that magic touch and that magic head. We have all the goal scorers on this team. Only thing I worry about is that some of these awesome superstars are not going to get the playing time that they normally would have wanted. But at least they're not playing for anyone else. That's the reason why we have them. Not a great defensive performance for us, but we sure have done it to them on offense with 6 goals here in this match. And we're going to go straight up to the very top of the charts with a +4 goal differential. So we have a 2.42 XG. We dominate possession. Well, we win possession a little bit and have a very, very good match in the end. And you can see that pass chart for us looks absolutely beautiful. That's the way that we like to see it. Final score again, PanSa East FC 6 and Royal Puma 2. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.